Nine Flames Sovereign Chapter 21. Get through the second main line. Ji Yuan walked a little erratic on the road. Ji Yuan knew that the punishment was already very light. Since the family chose Han Feng between him and Han Feng, he should not be merciful to him. It would be light to drive him out. More importantly, it is very likely to be reported to the entire Han family and be beheaded later. All this is because of the four elders. To the four elders, Ji Yuan is grateful from the heart. Think of the spirit stones that have been greeted over the years. Ji Yuan is full of guilt. These spirit stones, Ji Yuan intends to leave to Cuba, but now it seems. If it weren't for Cuba, Guan would never want to do this kind of thing. How could this make the four elders? Ji Yuan smiled bitterly. What is my life fortune? I thought I had the support of the four elders. Even if I died someday, my son would still be able to live a good life. The spirit stone I have greeted for so many years is enough for me. I have sufficient resources to practice. But now it seems that if I die, the family will not treat my son kindly for Han Feng. Even the spiritual stone I greedy will probably be taken away by the family. For my son, nothing is nothing. Going back to the residence, Ji Yuan immediately sent someone to inquire about the training ground. When Ji Yuan learned that Han Feng had become a member of the Training 10, Ji Yuan had a sense of understanding in his heart. So talented, no wonder the family. It seems that I was injured, not all because of Han Feng's sneak attack. I was so blinded by power to offend such a promising genius. I'm really as stupid as a pig. I hope Han Feng can accept my apology, otherwise, oh. Guan came to Cuba's bedside. Cuba lay on the bed and gradually awoke. Cuba opened his eyes. Father, what's wrong with you? In Cuba's impression, his father rarely showed such a downturned expression. Ji Yuan rubbed Cuba's head and sighed. Son, never offend Han Feng in the future. Be careful. We can't afford it. What? When talking about Han Feng, Cuba first flashed a hint of resentment, then his face became pale with fear. Han Feng's third burst of chrysanthemum was too ruthless and left a deep shadow in Cuba's heart. Ji Yuan saw this and knew that his son probably didn't have the guts to trouble Han Feng. Ji Yuan was relieved. Talking about the previous incident, Ji Yuan Dao, son, take care of the injury, I will go to apologize. If you remember as the father, you must never offend Han Feng in the future. If possible, try to please Han Feng, just like Ji Yu and Han Lai. It's not bad to be Han Feng's follower. Of course, the premise is that Han Feng is willing to accept you. Guan left, leaving Cuba with a silent look. When Han Feng came to Han Tiancheng's residence in the afternoon, he suddenly found that Ji Yuan was talking with his father. If you look closely, Ji Yuan's expression is slightly respectful, no more arrogant before. Seeing Han Feng, Ji Yuan immediately stood up. With a more serious expression, the slave has seen Master Feng. Han Feng raised his eyebrows and stared at Ji Yuan. Soon, Ji Yuan's forehead was soaked in cold sweat. At this time, Han Feng chuckled lightly. Ji Yuan Guan is coming here, this young man is terrified. Hearing Han Feng's words, Ji Yuan trembled all over, his face was bitter, and he was really offended. With a thump, Ji Yuan knelt down under Han Feng's stunned gaze, only to hear Ji Yuan tremblingly say, the slave. The slave knows that his behavior over the years has annoyed the young master, such as, if the young master is uncomfortable. You can kill the minion at any time, I just hope the young master can let go of the minion's son. Han Feng went to his seat and sat down. Your son. It's Cuba. If I killed you, doesn't Cuba hate me? I have no thoughts of future troubles. Guan looked desperate, kowtow again and again without a trace, and soon his forehead became red. Han Tiancheng couldn't bear it. Fenger, Ji Yuan has already admitted his mistake, and the family has also punished him. From then on, Ji Yuan is an ordinary slave and is no longer in charge. Han Feng was taken aback and thoughtfully, it seems that the family chose me, but it only gives Ji Yuan such a light start. I am afraid it is scrupulous about the fourth elder. In the current situation of Ji Yuan, I am afraid that I really dare not greedy his father's usual resource spirit stone. Fine, I have to give some face to the family and the fourth elders. This matter will stop here. Oh, I wanted to be more scared. My father's heart is still too soft. If it weren't for grandpa and 3 uncles to take care of him secretly, just his father's character. It's no wonder that my never-before-seen mother has me, and doesn't care about my father. I heard that my mother is a famous genius. My father's character is probably not attractive. Han Feng cleared his throat and said coldly, since the family has punished you, and if there is another father interceding, I will spare you this time, and the next time, you will know the serious consequences of offending this young man. Guan suddenly kowtowed his head with joy. Thank you, Master Feng, and thank you, Master Tiancheng. This is the spiritual stone that the minion has occupied over the years, and I will return it to you. As he said, the baggage brought by Ji Yuan's opening. As a slave, even if his status is high, Ji Yuan couldn't have storage belts such as storage. After Ji Yuan left, Han Tiancheng gave the spirit stones to Han Feng. Fenger, www.mtlnovel.com, these spirit stones are for you. Although you don't know what Fenger wants to do, it must be related to practice. Quote. Looking at Han Feng, most of them are low-grade middle-grade spirit stones. Han Feng hurriedly pushed back. Father, this low-grade middle-grade spirit stone, I don't need it. You should use it for cultivation. With so many low-grade middle-grade spirit stones, even if your father does not reach the human level 5-star, you can at least reach the human level. Rank 4-star peak, half-step human rank 5-star. This, okay. Han Tiancheng hesitated for a while and accepted. Indeed, the low-grade medium-level spirit stones can be absorbed and refined by a mere mortal martial artist. I think too much, Han Tiancheng thinks so. However, Han Tiancheng left it to Han Feng for some of the inferior spirit stones with purity of 9% and 10%. Han Feng didn't refuse either. With the current level of the 9 flames different fire art, just a little bit higher would be enough to refine these spirit stones. Returning to the room, Han Feng immediately entered the first floor of the 9 flame Skyfire Tower, and began to consume the source liquid that had not been absorbed before refining. I saw Han Feng's internal strength like a tens of thousands of horses galloping, and soon, when the early morning came, Han Feng suddenly exploded into a fierce energy. Han Feng's inner strength cultivation base broke through again, opening up the second main vein. But the source liquid still remained. Han Feng did not stop practicing, and continued to absorb the energy of the source liquid. Gradually, the sharp qi machine began to dissipate, and the inner strength cultivation base that opened the second main vein slowly stabilized. In the early morning, when the first ray of sunlight hit the house, Han Feng's body sitting cross-legged on the bed also slowly opened his eyes. I am now the inner strength cultivation base that has opened up the second main channel, and it has been stabilized, and will not be easily seen by others. Sure enough, my previous choice was correct. Otherwise, it would be the initial stage of opening up the second main channel at most, and it would never reach a stable state, and it would not be possible to maintain rapid progress in the next few days. It's different now. The time to gather is up. I can only wait until the evening to continue refining the low-grade and low-grade spirit stones with the remaining purity of 567%. The training venue of the Han family. When Han Feng arrived here, Han Lin and others had almost gathered. Han Feng was a little stunned, and muttered, on weekdays, this guy Han Lin is almost the last to come. He came so fast today. It seems that being able to fight wild monsters is not too attractive to him. Seeing Han Feng, Han Lin said lightly, here it is. Han Feng was taken aback, smiled slightly and said, yes. Then, the two of them were silent. After all, Han Lin ignores Han Feng on weekdays. There are not many intersections between the two, and they don't know what to say, but Han Feng sighs in his heart. It is still strength. Han Lin has a lot of dissatisfaction with him on weekdays. He ignored it, but after showing his strength, Han Lin no longer ignored it, and even greeted him proactively. At this moment, Han Lin said again, you have only one main vein cultivation base, and you are very reluctant to deal with the second-level monsters. Be careful when that happens. After saying this, Han Lin turned around to find Han Lai, no longer giving Han Feng a chance to speak. Han Feng looked surprised, but he felt warm in his heart. No matter how conflicted he was before, after all, he was relatives of blood. At a critical moment, he would always help one or two. Han Feng accepted Han Lin's awkward kindness, and didn't say that he was not afraid of anything. Even though Han Feng is now using mortal fire, he might be able to kill a level 3 monster. The levels of monsters and pills are similar, from low to high from level 1 to level 12, followed by earth level monsters and sky level monsters. First level monsters to fourth level monsters correspond to mortal tiers, and second level monsters and third tier monsters correspond to mid-tier mortals. 5 level monsters to 8th level monsters, corresponding to human levels. 9th level monsters to 12th level monsters, corresponding to the mysterious rank. Yufeng mountain range is the lowest level among the mountains around the city. More than 60% of them are level 1, 2, 3, and 4 beasts. Monsters above level 4 rarely appear. Even if they do, they are level 5 and 6. No matter how high it is. With the strength of Instructor Lin, there is no threat to him under the 6th level monsters. Among the 6th level monsters, as long as they are not too powerful, Instructor Lin alone can resist for a moment. What's more, Instructor Lin is not the only instructor who goes there. Haha, 10 of you are pretty good, I'm very pleased to have arrived so early. A hearty laugh came. Instructor Lin and the following 3 appeared in the sight of everyone. Instructor Lin pointed to the 3 behind him and said, I will introduce you to you. These are Instructor Han Yongxing, Instructor Linda, and Instructor Fenley. Everyone suddenly became serious. The names of these 3 instructors are not inferior to Instructor Lin Yu, and even stronger. Han Yongxing, the son of the Great Elder, is currently the strongest among the second generations of the Han family. He has reached the level of 6-star cultivation. According to reliable sources, within 1 or 2 years, Han Yongxing is likely to reach the level of humanity. 7 stars, there will be one more late-stage powerhouse in the entire Han family. Don't underestimate the late human stage, the entire Han family, there are no more than 10 strong late human stages. A small part of those elders are still 6-star human ranks. And there is only one person in the Han family who is strong at the top of the human rank, that is, the head of the Han family, Han Yu, the 10-star human rank. After Han Yongxing, the instructor Linda was the younger brother of instructor Lin Yu, but his cultivation was 1 level higher than Lin Yu, in the early 5-star stage. The last Fenley instructor, and Lin Yu are at the same level of 4 stars. With the guardian of these 4 great human-level mid-level experts, even if the top 6 level monsters of the Yufeng mountain range attacked, they would only fall in hatred. Obviously, the senior Han family attached great importance to the training of Han Lin's 10 people. After Instructor Lin introduced, he turned to look at Han Yongxing. The world is respected, Han Yongxing, as the strongest here. Instructor Lin subconsciously obeyed Han Yongxing's orders. Han Yongxing waved his hand. This time in training, the captain of the family's fate is you. You can figure it out, I'm just helping these little guys when they have problems. Linda smiled and said, Master Han Yongxing said it is right, brother, you can arrange it. Fenley shrugged, obviously agreeing. Instructor Lin touched his nose, and said helplessly, okay, then you should listen to me well these 10 days. Boys, stand in line and come with me to Yufeng Mountain. At this time, Han Lin questioned, Instructor Lin, why didn't you see Sister Ru and the others? Instructor Lin grinned and said, boy, that's how I want to be with beautiful women, don't think about it, they are different from our training location. Han Lin's face turned black, you reading www. He didn't think about yuakanshu.com, he just wanted to compare with Sister Ru. As the only third-class qualification in the Han family, Han Ru has always been the target of Han Lin. Don't look at Han Lin's 4 main veins now, but Han Ru's aptitude is 2 levels higher than Han Lin, and 4 or 5 months longer than Han Lin's cultivation. Now he has already opened up 6 main veins, and it is said that the 7th main vein will be coming soon. Get through. Speaking of Han Ru, for a while, the eyes of other teenagers also flashed deep respect and admiration. Is beautiful and talented, she is definitely the goddess in the hearts of a group of young boys. Han Ru. You are also the target of my pursuit, and I believe that it will not take much time to catch up with you. Han Feng muttered to himself. Instructor Lin waved his hand. Okay, don't think too much, go with this instructor. A group of 14 people set off immediately, with the goal Yufeng mountain range. Under the Yufeng mountain range. Instructor Lin waved his hand, and everyone stopped. Instructor Lin solemnly said, among you, who knows the specific news about the Yufeng mountain range? A group of teenagers looked at each other. What they usually do is training. How can they pay attention to this? Instructor Lin smiled sternly. Boys, listen to this instructor. What the instructor will say next will probably affect whether you can survive safely. The Yufeng mountain range is divided into two parts, outer and inner. The outer beasts are mostly between the first and second levels. There are few third-level beasts, but the inner surroundings are mostly third and fourth-level beasts. It is very likely that there will be fifth-level beasts. It is a monster of level 5 or higher. The Yufeng mountain range is not big. Our 4 instructors will only train you for 7 days. After 7 days, you will enter the Yufeng mountain range. We will not follow. For the next 3 days, you need to train yourself and cut off part of the monster body. The family is so qualitative, the first-level beasts have 1 point, and the second-level beasts have 10 points. After coming out, they will be ranked according to their points. The top 3 will get a second-level pill, and the last 7 will only get the first-level pill. So, for these 7 days, you must follow our 4 instructors to distinguish the inner and outer boundaries of the Yufeng mountain range. Don't assume that the innermost part of the Yufeng mountain range is the inner periphery. Although it is true, there are many trees in the Yufeng mountain range, and some places can even completely shade the sun. Believe me, where you can't even tell the specific direction, how to distinguish between the inside and outside of the mountains, if you are not careful, you are completely likely to get dizzy and enter the mountains. With your strength, once you enter inside, all you have to wait for is death. By the way, you have to learn how to distinguish where the exit is, and how to remember where you have walked. Otherwise you are likely to spin around in the mountains and lose your way. Instructor Lin said with a serious face, and all the teenagers seemed to have been affected, even Han Lin and Han Feng, who was also a little nervous. Han Feng looked at the tall trees in Yufeng mountain. Somehow, in this hot summer, these trees looked gloomy, like a devouring monster. Han Feng didn't know that in this Yufeng mountain range, many mortal martial artists were indeed ruined. The 3 instructors Han Yongxing looked at all of this with interest, and laughed in a low voice. Every time, we are like this. I think we were so immature at the beginning, now, hee hee. Linda and Fen Li both smiled. Their experience may be different from that of Han Feng and others, but they were both so naive at first. It was only after experiencing countless blood and battles that they transformed to the present level. Clapped hands, Instructor Lin coughed slightly and said, now, what do the 10 of you want to ask? Han Lai immediately said, Instructor, if we kill a level 3 monster, how many points will we earn? Instructor Lin looked very strange, and then he cursed. With your strength, you can deal with the second-level monsters, and among the more powerful second-level monsters, you can't win. It is estimated that only Han Lin has the power to fight. On your level, you still want to hunt level 3 monsters. Unless the sun comes out from the west. Han Lai was reprimanded by Instructor Lin, and he was slumped, with a slanderous expression. The first-level monster is equivalent to the early stage of the mortal stage, the second-level monster is already equivalent to the first 4 main veins of the middle stage, and the third-level monster is equivalent to the 4 main veins of the middle stage. At least the strong who can get through the 5th main channel can compete. Outskirts of the Yufeng mountain range, a huge dappled tiger hides in the dark. He saw a group of people coming slowly, opening his mouth hungrily and drooling down. Roar. After the group of people approached, the piebald tiger jumped out and bit at the first person. But then, the piebald tiger showed a color of fear. In the piebald tiger's perception, the person headed suddenly exploded from the danger-free breath that made it palpitation. This breath can only be felt in the Yufeng mountain range. Dead. With a stern scream, the piebald tiger suffered a pain and flew upside down, no longer conscious. Instructor Lin chuckled. Have you seen it? In the mountains, any beast will hide its traces to sneak attack, which is different from the beasts in the family for you to beat. If you are not careful, you will become the dung of the beast. The young people were still a little scared. At this moment, they were suddenly embarrassed, and they turned into the dung of Warcraft, which was too heavy. And Han Lin said solemnly, Instructor, what level is this piebald tiger? Although I didn't want to admit it, when this piebald tiger came out, they were really surprised by the ferocity of the piebald tiger. Han Feng's expression also changed slightly. this monster is really not easy. Compared with the attack of this monster, the previous competition between me and Cuba was like a child's play. Instructor Lin hummed, is it suffocated? Hey, this piebald tiger is just the bottom of the monsters, only the first level monsters, even among the first level monsters, it is not superior. But at any rate the piebald tiger has grown to this point, and there are definitely a lot of fights on weekdays. It is normal for you to be shocked by the atmosphere. After all, you haven't seen blood. The first level monsters that the family trains you on weekdays have long lost their fighting spirit. The monsters in the family get the Yufeng mountain range, and within a month, they will become food for the monsters in the Yufeng mountain range. And feces. What is the first level? Han Lin and others exclaimed, the beast that this made them hold was only the first level. Han Lin and the others had a very ugly face, and the pride of the family elite was shattered by the blow at this time. Han Feng took a deep breath, and secretly said, I didn't get much better before. I have lived for so many years in my previous life. Immediately, Han Feng smiled bitterly, I was just an ordinary person in my previous life. I have never killed anyone. In this respect, I am indeed no different from Han Lin and the others. These 10 days of training must be overcome. Instructor Lin said at this time, now understand why you have to train you before participating in the trial. Yu reading www.yuekanshu.com. During the trial, I will also be in the Yufeng mountain range. Think about it. If you participate in the trial without training, the result will be everyone's complexion is even more ugly. By then, it is estimated that no more than half of 10 people will survive. Instructor Lin chuckled and said, go ahead. There are not many monsters in the Yufeng mountain range just now. It takes ordinary time to find a monster here. It will be easier to wait for some inside. Don't worry, you will have to fight against Warcraft. Everyone's expression stunned. Before everyone left, Instructor Lin walked to a tree, took out a dagger and made a crosswalk, pointed at the sign. Instructor Lin said, do you know why this is? A group of little guys frowned and pondered. In this regard, Han Feng has lived for so many years in his previous life. How can he not know that? He blurted out, this mark can let us know whether we have lost our way and walked back where we were. Han Feng said so. All the teenagers were also taken aback. Instructor Lin said, Han Feng, you actually know. Han Fenggen smiled and said, I used to pester my father to tell me stories. Instructor Lin nodded. That's it. The other teenagers looked a little strange at Han Feng, Yan father and mother. Their father has always been serious. In the face of such a serious father, they can't manage to pester his father to tell them stories. The mother is a little more gentle, but the city was only built in recent decades, and the development process is too short. This has also led to their mothers being ordinary people, without much knowledge. Naturally it is impossible to instill this common sense into them. It's just Han Tiancheng's gentle temper that will be patient. These teenagers don't know if they should be jealous or lucky. Instructor Lin said solemnly, Han Feng did say the effect, but it is too broad. Now I will elaborate on it. In fact, it doesn't have to be on a tree to make a mark. It can be anywhere else, depending on your own interests. Carve this mark, you can tell whether you are lost, whether you are spinning in place, and even based on the mark, you can tell where you are at the moment. Especially when you are being chased by someone, engraving the mark can prevent you from losing your position in a hurry. In the jungle, there are too many similar places. If you don't make a mark, it is very likely that you will treat two different locations as one. Han Lin said suddenly, if you can engrave these marks, wouldn't it be easy for the chaser to know your location? Instructor Lin gave Han Lin an admiring look. Yes, so when you engrave the mark, you must try to engrave it in an inconspicuous place, and preferably a mark that is not easy to distinguish. For example, you made an arrow. It's too obvious. When certain sects are practicing together, they have specific marks and locations to tell the direction of the same sect. All of these need to be summarized slowly in the future. I won't talk about these now, let's move on. In the next way, Instructor Lin explained a lot of common sense. These common sense, some young people know some do not know at all. This way, the teenagers have gained a lot. Even during this period, Han Yongxing and the three of them were unwilling to lonely say some knowledge. Soon, the group came to the inner periphery of Yufeng Mountain. Here, first-level monsters are rare, most of them are second-level monsters. Han Lei, I'll leave this golden pangolin to you. In front of the group of people, a pangolin monster looked at the crowd vigilantly. Because Instructor Lin and others have reduced their breath, this golden pangolin can only find the breath of Han Lin and others. This breath is not strong, so although the golden pangolin was vigilant, it did not leave. Me. Han Lei pointed his finger at himself, a little unbelievable. Instructor Lin nodded. Yes, it's you. This golden armor pantograph is just a second-level monster that has just evolved. According to the level of cultivation, it is even lower than you. Your basic long punch and basic leg skills have also reached completion, and your claw condensing skills are barely close to small. In the realm, as long as you can fully display 10% of your strength, you can solve this golden armored mountain within 3 strokes. Beyond the 3 tricks, it means you need to exercise. Han Lei swallowed, gritted his teeth, and stood out. Seeing Han Lei, the Jinjia Pengshan grinned hideously, and his sharp teeth flashed a white light. The golden armored pangolin is just average from a distance, but as he approached, Han Lei was horrified to find that the golden armored pangolin was half a person tall and huge, and Han Lei trembled all over. Jinjia Pengshan may also know Han Lei's fear. His grin was bigger, and he made an attack. But at this time, Han Lei just looked at the Jinjia Pengshan dumbly. Roar. Jinjia Pengshan couldn't help it, and wanted to swallow Han Lei into his mouth and jumped away. What? Han Lei let out a scared scream, and rolled around on the spot, enough to escape the attack of the Jinjia Pengshan mountain. Roar. Jinjia Pengshan is dissatisfied, the food is not good, waiting to be bitten by it, and planning to escape. Under the anger, the golden armor pantograph roared more violently. On the other side, Han Lin said anxiously, "Instructor, go on like this." Instructor Lin waved his hand with a serious expression. "You can't make a move, you can't stand it even at this level, it will only get worse in the future. Han Lin, you must remember that the trial you participated in is not a safe trial. Needless to say, the city lord, he is just a person sent by the emperor of the Great Jin Kingdom to monitor whether our families are connected with other countries, whether they have rebellious intentions, and there is no threat. Moreover, there are people sent by the country, and the city built is recognized by the country. If any power destroys the city, it will be hunted down by the country. A city that is not recognized by the state will be destroyed, and no one will take revenge. But in the same way, as the lord of the city, he will not care about the disputes between our families. Now our families in People's Midtown are in the development stage. Every once in a while, families have been promoted and their strength has greatly increased, and families have suffered major losses and their status has plummeted. In order to enhance the strength of the family, on the one hand, it is necessary to enhance the cultivation of family members, and on the other hand, to suppress other families. The best way is to eliminate the geniuses of other families. In the trial 1 month later, you are likely to encounter the strangulation of other family geniuses, without strength, without certain beliefs, then. Han Lin and others' complexions changed drastically. Will they die during the trial? www.mtlnovel.com. Han Feng's expression hasn't changed much. Judging from the movement of this training, Han Feng has already guessed this, so Han Feng can't wait to improve his strength. At this time, Han Lei had been chased by the golden pangs in a panic, unclothed, and scars everywhere. If Han Lei's own cultivation was not higher than the golden armor, it is estimated that he would fall. Instructor Lin suddenly screamed, "Han Lei, fight me up. See you now, or you still an elite of the Han family. It's just a waste. You don't even dare to fight the second-level monsters you just promoted, what else can you do? You have practiced your inner strength for so long, just to avoid." Instructor Lin's successive questions made Han Lei daze. Waste. Is he really trash? Pooh. Han Lei spurted out a mouthful of blood, was swept by the tail of the golden armor pangolin, and flew out. Ahem, ahem. Han Lei stood up awkwardly, a burst of anger suddenly ignited in his chest. Before he came, he had always regarded himself as an elite of the Han family, but now, he has been called waste. Isn't it just a mere second-level beast? What to be afraid of? Kill and kill. Jinjia Pangolin's playful eyes became cold, and he became vigilant again, staring coldly at the food in front of him. In the feeling of xianxia pangolin, this strange two-legged food suddenly felt a sense of danger. Half an hour later, Han Lai slumped to the ground, panting and weak. I finally killed the second-level monster. Han Lai exclaimed excitedly. Instructor Lin and others came here. Instructor Lin was satisfied and said, "Not bad, but I haven't lost the face of the younger generation of Han elites. Now you know, the second-level monsters are not terrible. The terrible thing is that you lack your own will. Without a firm will, in the face of the evil spirits of the beast, you will always be afraid, and it will be difficult to exert your full power. Originally, based on your cultivation base and strength, 3 strokes were enough to solve the golden pantograph, but in the end, it was chased by the golden pantograph and severely injured. In the end, although the obstacle was overcome, he was wounded, and it took so long to solve the golden pangolin." Han Lai nodded again and again. "Thanks to the instructor for teaching, I am now confident that I will not be so embarrassed when I face the second-level monsters. If I encounter a golden pangolin again, within 10 strokes, I can definitely kill it." Han Lin and others are both worried and envious. Instructor Lin looked around for a week, with a strange smile on his mouth. "Don't worry, none of you can escape." Next, everyone really took part in the battle one by one, facing all the second-level monsters, but most of them were the second-level monsters of the same level as the golden pangolin, which belonged to the bottom of the second-level monsters. Among them, Han Rong and Han Zheng performed the best. As masters who have opened up the 2 main lines, they can deal with it much easier than Han Lai. Rao was so, and the 2 also suffered some minor injuries. Now that they are not participating in the battle, only Han Lin and Han Feng are left. Soon, everyone encountered a second-level monster. This is a wolf snake. Instructor Lin introduced. The wolf snake is a kind of beast that is addicted to wolves. Adult wolf snakes have the strength of level 3 monsters. A small number of wolf snakes have mutated and will have the opportunity to be promoted to level 4 monsters. The adult wolf snake is 10 meters long. This wolf snake is only 8 meters long. Obviously it is underage and belongs to the category of second-level monsters. It's no more than 8 meters. This wolf snake should belong to the first class among the second-level monsters. It is no less than the warrior who has opened up the 3 main channels, and may be enough to compete with the warriors who have opened up the 4 main channels. Han Lin, this wolf snake is left to you. Yes. Han Lin walked out full of fighting spirit. Han Lin deserves to be a genius that the younger generation of the Han family attaches great importance to. Facing the wolf snake, Han Lin only had a moment of discomfort before returning to normal. Before the wolf snake attacked, Han Lin took the lead. Condensing claw power. Has reached the stage of Xiaocheng, close to the stage of Dacheng, and has the 4 main veins of Han Lin's inner strength cultivation base. When it bursts, it rustles. Hiss. The greedy wolf snake tail suddenly struck, and a shocking scene happened to the Han boys. Han Lin unexpectedly twisted his body in the air and avoided the blow. Then Han Lin severely grabbed it with a paw. In an instant, blood dripped. The greedy wolf snake let out a cry. Twisting its huge body, the entire tail of the greedy wolf snake was torn into several pieces by Han Lin. Taking advantage of the painful moment of the wolf snake eating, Han Lin didn't let go of the slightest chance, and the condensing claw skill quickly grabbed it. This time, it was the head of the wolf snake. Greedy wolf snake felt a violent crisis, and shook his head quickly to avoid it, but Han Lin had already inserted his left hand into the twisted abdomen of the greedy wolf snake first, and directly pulled the greedy wolf snake over. After that, Han Lin pressed his right paw, and for a while, the head of the wolf snake was inserted by Han Lin, and the wolf snake died instantly. Gulu. The teenagers swallowed and spit. This is really too strong. They deal with the weakest existence of the second-level monsters in the area, and they have to overcome for a long time before they can fight, and they will eventually get injured. But Han Lin actually took the life of the wolf snake in an instant. This wolf snake is a second-class monster. I used to think that Han Lin was strong, but now all the teenagers discovered that they are far from Han Lin in terms of will, and when combined, the gap is even greater. Han Feng raised his eyebrows. This Han Lin is really beyond my expectation. Perhaps the future development of the Han family depends on Han Lin. But, hey, I'm not bad. Han Feng was very excited, but it was his turn next. On the other side, Han Yongxing looked excited. When I was the first time, I didn't have such a calmness. This Han Lin has a good disposition and will. If there are enough exercises, it is not impossible for Han Lin to surpass the patriarch. It's a pity that the family's skill level is not high, but it's a pity. Linda smiled on the side and said, "What is this, have you forgotten more than half a year later?" Han Yongxing slapped his head. "Yeah, I almost forgot. It will be the day when Zhan Mingzong came here to investigate in more than half a year. If Han Lin can be seen, he will be at least a 12-star in the future, and it may even break through to Zhan. Order. For the breakthrough of level, aptitude is one aspect, as are xianxia and will. Both of these aspects can greatly increase the probability of a breakthrough of the same level. Han Lin's aptitude is the 5th grade low grade, neither high nor low, but his character and will are no less than the 3rd grade low grade, or even stronger. Under the overall circumstances, as long as there is a suitable opportunity, there is a 50% chance of breaking through Xuanji. Reading www.yuekanshu.com. This suitable opportunity is the exercise. There is no good technique, no matter how high your aptitude is, it's no use. For example, the low-level human level exercises will allow you to cultivate to 4-star human level at most. If you want to go further, you must either exchange for higher exercises or improve your own exercises. The highest practice of the Han family is nothing but the top grade. It stands to reason that the highest level can only be cultivated to the 9-star human rank, but after years of investigation, Han Yu has improved his practice. Although it cannot be compared with the best human rank exercise method, it also allows Han Yu to break through to the human rank 10-star, but it has stopped here. This is why the family geniuses who have passed on for many years have so many geniuses, and in a short period of time, they have reached a height that most warriors cannot reach. The reason is that these big families that have been passed down for many years have many high-level exercises. Fen Li was a little envious and said, "Xuanming sect, that is a Zhan level sect. I heard that within a few years, it is very likely to be promoted to an Earth level sect. I learned more than 10. This kind of sect does not lack Zhan level exercises and Zhan level martial arts. It's a pity that we don't have such a method of cultivation, otherwise we have already reached the late human stage now, and even the peak of the late human stage is not impossible." Han Yongxing patted Fen Li's shoulder, and sighed. "Wait for Han Lin to return from school, are you afraid that we don't have high-level exercises? In this life, I don't expect to be able to break through to the profound stage. I only hope that I can practice the profound stage techniques and break through to the top of the human stage in my lifetime. Then, I will rest in peace." The three of them were silent for a long time, and Linda suddenly said, "This Han Feng is also good. I heard that a main line has been opened up. This is only a month." Han Yongxing frowned and said, "Although Han Feng is indeed good, I think this is the result of Han Feng's hard work in the first 3 years. God pays for his diligence. There are always many people who regain consciousness after years of hard work. Illness, that must be the case. After stepping into the mortal stage, the speed may be faster than Han Lin, but it should not be that shocking anymore, and it should be restored to the state of normal low-grade 4th-class qualification. The investigation of Zhan Mingzong will arrive in more than half a year. In such a short time, Han Feng can get through the 3 main veins. Even with the help of family medicine, he can get through 5 or 6. This." Linda and Fen Li were stunned, nodded, and admitted that Linda showed sympathy. "Han Feng, this kid, has suffered too much. If he is cured sooner, the result will be different. Once Han Lin enters the Zhanming sect, the gap between the two will only increase. After all, Han Lin's aptitude is only 1 level lower than Han Feng. The specific situation of Han Feng's disposition and will is not known. There should not be a big gap between people themselves. In this way, external factors play a big role." Everyone continued to deepen, and soon, the group came to a strange place, where there were strange-shaped trees everywhere. Han Lai was surprised. This Yufeng mountain range has such a sight. As he said, Han Lai wanted to step forward and observe carefully. "If you want to die, go see it, and come back to me." Instructor Lin screamed, and Han Lai shivered with fright and returned immediately. Instructor Lin cursed. "Smelly boy, this instructor has said so many times before, in this Yufeng mountain range, you must be careful and careful, accept your curiosity, or you will suffer a lot from this sooner or later. Han Linuo no bowed his head. Han Feng asked, Instructor, is there any problem here? That's right. Instructor Lin nodded and continued, the trees here are weird. The reason is simple. These weird trees are also a kind of monsters. This is a monster. Han Feng, Han Lin and others looked at each other. Everyone's heart twitched, and sure enough, in the mountains, there are all weird monsters. Instructor Lin grinned, what's weird about this? As far as I heard, some monsters are even weird. I've heard of a flower-like monster called the piranha. It looks beautiful, but when you get closer, this piranha will swallow you in extremely fast, and the spit-out will be bones. Bones. Han Lai shivered. Instructor Lin smiled and said to Han Lai, although this giant wood monster is not like a piranha, it is not inferior to a piranha. When you are within the attack range of the giant wood monster, you will be entangled and bound by many branches by the giant wood monster, and you will eventually be sucked into an adult. Han Lai's face stiffened again. Han Feng took a step forward. Instructor, this giant wood monster, it's my turn. Instructor Lin's face changed, and he caught Han Feng back. No, the giant wood monster is not comparable to the previous monsters. The giant wood monster is divided into 3 levels. The ordinary giant wood monster is a second-level monster, and the attack range is 5 meters. The giant wood guard is a level 3 monster with an attack range of 10 meters, and it is a level 3 monster. The highest level giant wood general, with an attack range of 20 meters, is a 4th-level monster. I heard that there is a higher level of giant wood king, but this kind of existence belongs to the legend, and there are few giant wood kings. The giant wood king, once he breaks through, he will be a level 6 monster, and there are no more race restrictions, and he can continue to evolve. I have seen on a World of Warcraft encyclopedia. Hundreds of years ago, there was a mountain range that gave birth to the 12th level giant wood king. The monsters and humans in the entire mountain range were sucked into humans by this giant wood monster. By this, he broke through to the ground-level monsters, and was finally beheaded by the ground-level masters who heard the news. It depends on the situation here, although there will be no giant wood monsters, but giant wood guards should exist. You kill the ordinary giant wood monster, this giant wood guard will also appear. Han Feng laughed and said, isn't this Instructor Lin Yu? When the giant wood guard appears, you will not take action. Just let us see your heroism. Han Feng said that. Han Lin and the others suddenly lit up. The battle of human-level masters, they haven't seen it yet. Instructor Lin laughed and scolded, you kid. Han Yongxing and the 3 of them are ready to move. This time the person in charge is Lin Yu, and the 3 of them are just guarding. In other words, if nothing big happens in these 10 days, they will be very bored. And now, Instructor Lin saw the situation of the 3 people and looked helpless, so he had to say to Han Feng, well, you can do it if you want. However, even ordinary giant wood monsters have a medium existence among the second-level monsters, almost equivalent to a warrior who has opened up 2 main veins. You have to be careful. Han Feng believes in himself, instructor rest assured. Han Feng slowly approached the nearest giant wood monster. This giant wood monster is brown, and its body is twisted and twisted. If it is at night, this giant wood monster is alive like a ghost tree. Han Feng was cautious. When he approached within the attack range of the giant wood monster, www.mtlnovel.com, suddenly several cracks sounded, and dozens of brown branches attacked at an astonishing speed. Condensing claw power. Han Feng's claw condensing skill has reached the realm of great achievement, and when his internal strength erupts, his power is extraordinary. Claw shadows flashed, dozens of claw shadows grabbed these branches. Under the stunned gaze of Han Lin and others, these branches all broke, and finally Han Feng pierced the body of the giant wood monster with a claw, and the giant wood monster fell to the ground. No. Impossible, it was a spike. Instructor Lin was stunned. Han Yongxing and others were also sluggish. Among the 10 people, only Han Lin can do this. Although this giant wood monster is not as greedy as a wolf snake, it is not comparable to the golden armor and Pan Mountain. Even Han Rong and Han Zheng were first-rate against the Jinjia Pengxian, and they were slightly injured. Could it be that Han Feng's combat power has surpassed Han Rong and Han Zheng? A stronger fighting spirit broke out in Han Lin's eyes. If the time is not right, Han Lin will have a fight with Han Feng. Han Yongxing looked at each other. Han Yongxing said in a daze, "This kid. I thought he had no chance before, but now it seems." Fen Li and Linda both nodded erratically. Can kill giant wood monsters in seconds, and its combat power should be comparable to getting through the 3 main veins. This Korean style, the increase in combat power is too terrifying. It took only a month before and after. Instructor Lin was shocked in his heart. This guy, could it be that the second main line has been opened up? Instructor Lin suddenly shook his head secretly. I checked yesterday, and indeed one of the main veins has been opened up. Although it has reached the peak, how can one night be enough to break through and open the second main vein? What's more, this kid's breath fluctuates smoothly, there is no leakage, and it doesn't look like he just broke through. I won't break through and stabilize overnight, right? This is too funny. Instructor Lin finally laughed at himself silently. As everyone knows, this self-deprecating sentence is really the truth. The fall of the giant wood monster made other giant wood monsters angry, and along with the vibration of the ground, the giant wood monsters surrounded Han Feng. No, Han Feng is in danger. Instructor Lin screamed, and he wanted to take action. Then Instructor Lin opened his mouth in surprise. I saw Han Feng surrounded by giant wood monsters. He didn't have the slightest timidity. He took the first shot and wiped out the 3 giant wood monsters. The 3 giant wood monsters, even the warriors who get through the peak of the 3 main veins, can't handle it so easily. Suddenly, a scene suddenly appeared in Instructor Lin's mind. The condensing claw skill just now has surpassed the realm of great achievement and is close to the realm of perfection. This is why Han Feng is so powerful. Can't think of more, Instructor Lin can only attribute the reason to this aspect. Han Lin, you guys stay here, I will solve the giant wood monster. Han Feng, this kid is too bold. If you don't retire as soon as possible, he will attack more giant wood monsters. Cursed secretly, an orange flame suddenly appeared from the hands of Instructor Lin. Flame knife. Flame knife, a low-grade martial arts skill. A half-meter-long arc-shaped flame knife popped out, 9 times in total, whizzing away. Rumbling. The flame knife fell into the giant wood monster community and exploded. The flames shot in all directions. Some giant wood monsters were directly cut in half by the flame knife, and some were directly burned into ashes by the flames scattered by the flame knife explosion. A group of 2nd level monsters is too weak for the Instructor Lin, who is also able to compete with the 6th level monsters. Boy, go back quickly, there are more and more giant wood monsters, it is no longer what your kid can contend. Han Feng has already killed 9 giant wood monsters so far. Without exposing the common fire, he has indeed reached the limit. Hearing the words of Instructor Lin, he nodded and immediately retreated to Han Lin and others to welcome Han Feng. Yes, it was the weird look of Han Lin and others. But soon, everyone's eyes were attracted by Instructor Lin again. As a human-level martial artist, all his internal energy has been transformed into attribute junchi, and the cultivated human-level martial arts can explode more powerful attribute attacks. For example, fire, water, lightning, etc. Attacks with these attributes can all be attacked from a distance. For example, the flame knife has whizzed away before the Instructor Lin arrives. And Han Lin and others, who are still in the mortal rank, have the highest martial skills, that is, condensing claw skills, and can only attack in close quarters. This is also the reason why the human rank is far above the mortal rank martial artist. Not only is the human rank martial artist's attribute and quality far superior to the mortal rank, but also the human rank martial artist can attack from a distance. A mortal martial artist who can attack in close quarters is really a disadvantage in this respect. The flame knife hovered around Instructor Lin. Whenever a giant wood monster attacked, the flame knife only shook slightly, and the giant wood monster was cut in half and turned to ashes. Soon, most of the giant wood monsters died in the hands of Instructor Lin. Step on step, the ground shook for a while, and among the surprised eyes of Han Lin and others, a taller giant wood monster appeared. Han Yongxing, 3 people laughed. Sure enough, there are so many giant wood monsters, there must be giant wood guards. Lin Yu, those ordinary giant wood monsters are handed over to you, we will kill these giant wood guards. Lin Yu yelled, you 3 bastards, it's really hateful that you left me the garbage. Fen Li jumped up, and opened his hands, Huiyunwan. Fire Cloud Ring, the Han family's low-grade martial arts. More than a dozen red flame circles were thrown away and set on the third-level monster Giant Wood Guard. The Giant Wood Guard uttered a scream and turned into fly ash. Linda kicked both legs suddenly. The wind cracks the legs. The wind cracks the legs, the lower rank martial arts. Stalks of wind raged out, and the giant wooden guards hit by these winds were all torn into pieces and turned into a pile of rotten wood. Han Yongxing stretched out his 5 fingers, falling thunder fingers. Crackling. Han Yongxing's 5 fingers suddenly heard a sound, and a blue thumb-sized arc appeared on Han Yongxing's 5 fingers. Han Yongxing pushed his palm to the front, and each finger shot out a thumb-sized arc. These arcs didn't look big, but they smashed on the giant wooden guard, but a huge rumbling sound erupted, and the ground was blown into a deep pit. The giant wooden guards that were hit all became black powder. The 3 of them played happily, and soon the giant wood guards were all killed, and Instructor Lin Yuelin also killed a group of ordinary giant wood monsters in a dark face. On the other side, Han Feng, Han Lin and others were looking forward to it. Flame Knife, Fire Cloud Ring, Wind-Cracked Legs, and Thunder Fingers gave them too much shock. Compared with these martial arts, Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com is weak and explosive. I couldn't help but, the 10 people were surging in their hearts, wishing that they would break through to the human level tomorrow and cultivate the lower level martial arts. At this moment, in the jungle, hundreds of branches suddenly shot out, and every branch showed a strange black and green color. Han Yongxing's expression changed. It is General Giant Wood, this little Yufeng mountain range, such a beast has appeared. It must be killed, otherwise the Giant Wood Monster King will be born sooner or later, and then we will have trouble in the city. Once the 6th level Monster King is born, he will be promoted to the 12th level in a short time. Bend Thunder Finger. Han Yongxing popped out with one finger this time, and the thick purple thunder light, just like the thunder light of an adult's arm, burst out. Bend Thunder Finger, but middle rank martial arts. 4th level Warcraft Giant Wood General. Just as soon as he came out, he turned into annihilation. Instructor Lin returned angrily and hammered Han Feng's head. It depends on what you have done. It is not enough to kill a giant wood monster. It also attracted so many giant wood monsters, which led to the appearance of giant wood guards and giant wood generals. Fortunately, some of our instructors the strength is good, otherwise. Han Feng grinned, but in his heart he had a general understanding of his combat power at the moment. The reason why Han Feng did not retreat after killing a giant wood monster was to test his own limits. Han Feng knew that with Instructor Lin by the side, he could not be in danger. At night, the group returned to Han's house. In the Korean-style room, Han Feng flashed himself, and came to the first space of the 9 Flames Tower. Putting the spirit stone with a purity of 5 to 67% in the all things melting flame cauldron, Han Feng made a mortal fire that was much more powerful and began to refine. These spirit stones, whose purity is close to the low-grade inferior limit, are not so easy to refining. After one night, they are only 1/3 refined. The next day, Han Feng and his party once again entered the Yufeng mountain range. At this moment, Instructor Lin and others have not only trained Han Feng and others in their will to fight against monsters, but also taught a group of people how to fight. In a blink of an eye, another 2 days passed. The training days have lasted for 3 days, and there are 4 days left. The last 3 days are the time for inspection. In these 2 days, Han Feng finally succeeded in refining all the source liquid. Finally you can refine and absorb to increase your strength. Take a sip, and when he feels the limit is reached, Han Feng immediately practiced cross-legged. The next day, Han Feng opened his eyes, and his internal strength soared several levels. Han Feng's inner strength cultivation base had just stabilized the second main channel, but now he has taken a big step towards the peak of the second main channel, but there is still no breakthrough. There are 8 main veins. Every time one is opened, it requires 1, 2 or 3 times more internal energy than the previous one. No matter how much energy the source liquid raises, it is impossible to directly raise it several times in one night. 4th day, 5th day. At the moment when the morning of the 6th day arrived, Han Feng's eye suddenly shook his whole body, exuding a sharp aura, and opened up the 3rd main vein. This time, Han Feng could no longer hide it. Han Family Training Ground. Instructor Lin looked at Han Feng in horror. You broke through again, 2 main lines. Han Feng hesitated and nodded. Yes. Instructor Lin still had a weird expression. Opening up the second main channel could not have such a strong aura, but the third. Instructor Lin didn't dare to think like this. He just thought it was the reason why Han Feng Ning's claw skill reached the perfect state. It's true that the battles of the past few days have deepened Han Feng's knowledge of claw condensation. Just yesterday, Han Feng broke through during the battle. Claw condensation reached the stage of perfection in one fell swoop. One claw killed the most of the second-level monsters. The powerful monsters shocked the instructor Lin and others on the spot. Han Rong and Han Zheng's expressions were extremely complicated. It was only a short time before Han Feng caught up. This was only the cultivation base, and in terms of combat effectiveness, it was a few streets they didn't know. Nowadays, only Han Lin can suppress Han Feng. Han Lin's face was solemn, and Han Lin felt a strong sense of threat from Han Feng. Han Lin frowned. I have now opened up the 4 main veins, and they have long been stable. How come I feel this way? Behind Instructor Lin, Han Yongxing and the 3 looked at each other, shocked. Now I'm pretty sure that if Zhan Mingzong comes, he will definitely fall into Han Feng. It is estimated that it will not be long before Han Feng will surpass Han Lin. This speed of progress is too **** frustrating. Han Yongxing couldn't help but explode. Fenli's expression was rather weird. Don't forget, there is another Han Ru in our Han family. I heard that the little girl Han Ru has always had a bad impression of Han Feng. In the competition a few days later, some look at it. On this day, he was still fighting in the Yufeng mountain range. At night, Han Feng continued to swallow the source liquid to practice. One night, Han Feng almost stabilized his realm. The 7th day was unremarkable. After the 7th night, Han Feng completely stabilized the 3rd main channel's inner strength cultivation, and even went further. This rapid progress left Instructor Lin and others stunned. They stabilized their realm in less than 2 days. This speed is definitely the fastest they have seen so far. The genius outside the city is an exception. On the 8th day, the group came to Yufeng mountain range. Instructor Lin said with a serious face, from now on to the 10th day afternoon, you will spend in the Yufeng mountain range. Be careful not to be overly curious, especially it's Han Lai. Did you hear that? Everyone looked awkward. Yes. On this day, Han Yongxing and the 3 did not come, except for the last afternoon. They will not care about it these days. Haha, it turned out to be Instructor Lin. Today is also your Han training day. A loud laughter came from behind, and everyone turned their heads. A middle-aged man with a fat belly led the same 9 teenagers here. Instructor Lin's expression was light. It turned out to be a regular instructor. Apparently, Instructor Lin obviously didn't want to talk to this fat man. Han Feng looked at the group of people suspiciously. Hearing the Chong instructor's surname, Han Feng flashed his eyes and thought of something. Han Lin glanced at Han Feng and whispered, this surname Chong is another family of Renjiangcheng in our Han family, ranking among the top 3 families. Be careful, the Chong family has always been at odds with our Han family. In the Yufeng mountain range, these guys might attack us. Han Feng nodded, and smiled lightly. It's better to come, just to teach them a lesson. Now, Han Feng's name for being a waste is eliminated in the Han family, but there is not much spread outside. That incident, the whole person in the city has been going to talk about it. Han Lin snorted coldly. The 2 of us haven't discussed each other in the past few days. www.mtlnovel.com. Let's compare this training test, how about? Han Feng smiled slightly. Okay. The conversation between Han Feng and Han Lin, the instructor Chong did not hear clearly, but the instructor Chong recognized Han Feng. Huh, isn't this kid that little **** from your Han family? Why is he even here? Or is it that the current elite level of your Han family is equivalent to rubbish? The instructor often mocked. Han Lai and the others were furious. Just as they were about to fight back, Instructor Lin stopped them. Instructor Lin's eyes were cold. Instructor Chong, it's not your turn to take care of our Han family. Han Lin, let's go. After the Instructor Lin left, the face of the Instructor Chong also became gloomy, and he spit out a sputum. The instructor sneered. Bah, what a dog. Even the Han family's protagonist is not even considered to be the Han family. I dare to talk to this instructor. Hey, don't worry, the instructor, the mere Han family is just a bunch of trash. In the Yufeng mountain range, we will surely ask you a sigh of relief. The gloomy teenager JG sneered. The instructor Chong said immediately, Chong Wenjun, your brother is at a juncture of cultivation. If he didn't follow him this time, your cultivation level is the highest, and you have already opened up the 4 main lines. Don't worry about the Han family. If you meet the Han family, just kill me. Chong Wenjun's eyes flashed and he grinned. Don't worry, I will let this group of wastes of the Han family disappear into this world. The city of people, sooner or later will be the world of our Chong family. Yufeng mountain range. Accompanied by a wolf howl, a figure flashed past, and the wolf howl stopped abruptly. I have killed 8 first-level monsters and 3 second-level monsters. The total points are 38. But this is the periphery of the Yufeng mountain range. Level 2 monsters are really rare. If you want to get the top few with an absolute advantage, you have to enter a place slightly closer to the core. This figure whispered a few words to himself, and moved towards the depths of the Yufeng mountain range. This figure is surprisingly Han Feng. At this time, Han Feng has entered the Yufeng mountain range for half a day. There are countless monsters in the Yufeng mountain range, and more monsters exist in groups. Even if it is a first-level monster, as long as it is in a group, Han Feng will run away. Is just like Han Feng can kill first-level beasts and cut tofu, but you can't be careless. If you break into a group of monsters, you will be over. After walking for a long time, Han Feng was a little thirsty. He came to a small river and looked around cautiously. Han Feng breathed a sigh of relief. Lifting a huge boulder from the ground, Han Feng threw it into the river with great force. With a plop, the stone was smashed into the river. Even if there is someone hiding in the river, such a strong force is enough to make the stone hit the hiding under the river. Even deeper, I can feel it. Han Feng whispered. According to the instructor, more than 50% of the rivers in the Yufeng mountains have powerful monsters hidden in them. If you are not careful, you will be swallowed by this monster. I threw in 4 or 5 fist-sized stones and threw them out forcefully. If there is a monster in this river, it will definitely cause the monster to come out for investigation. Of course, there is no best. If there is, you must solve it before drinking water. These days, I will stay by the river temporarily. People cannot be short of water. In the past few days, Han Feng plans to live here. Gradually, the surface of the river changed, and a huge shadow emerged. Han Feng's expression became more solemn. Sure enough, there are monsters. Wow! A huge flying fish jumped out of the river. The scales of the flying fish were complicated and inexplicable. The sun reflected a weird luster. The tail of the fish was completely different from ordinary fish monsters. If you look closely, it looks like a beast. The tail is similar, thick, big and long. Han Feng's eyes narrowed. This look, could it be the water dragon fish mentioned by the instructor a few days ago? Water dragon fish, with the blood of the dragon, although extremely thin, it gives the water dragon fish great power. Arowana is 10 feet long when it is born, and belongs to the second-level monster. Entering the growth stage, it is 2 feet long and belongs to the third-level monster. Has entered the mature stage, has a length of 4 feet, and belongs to the 4th-level monster. Once is fully grown, it will grow to 10 feet long after entering adulthood, and its level will be as high as 8th. In addition, the adult limit of water dragon fish is level 12. The water dragon fish that appeared in Han Feng's line of sight at this time was only 1.5 feet long, obviously in the evolutionary period of the 2nd level and 3rd level monsters. Is better than level 2 monsters, but it can't compare to level 3 monsters. Han Feng breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it is not a water dragon that has entered the mature period and adulthood, otherwise I will have to run away. Yes, this is not the core of the Yufeng mountain range. A 4th level monster is unlikely to appear, and even a 3rd level monster is rare. So, for the next big meal, let's use this water dragon fish to cushion your stomach. Condensing claw power. Facing the water dragon fish with its open fangs, Han Feng used the maximum power of his claw condensing power to grab onto the water dragon fish body. Boom! The water dragon fish was knocked into the air by huge force, and fell to the ground, smashing a big hole. But the scales on the water dragon fish are exactly the same as before, without a slight change. Water dragon fish quickly got up, roaring again and again. Arowana is an amphibious creature. When in the water, the 4 strange claws of the arowana are hidden in the body, but once they reach the land, the claws will be exposed for landing. The claw of Han Feng just didn't hurt the water dragon fish, but it felt a certain pain. In the final analysis, this water dragon fish is still between the newborn and growing period, and its endurance is completely incomparable with the adult water dragon fish. It is just a small pain, but also makes the water dragon fish have a trace of fear and dare not attack rashly. Han Feng took a few steps backwards, grinning. It's so hard defense, my paws are so painful, and even the condensing claw skills can't help this guy, let alone basic long punches and basic legs. With my current cultivation base and condensed claws, I will fight this dead fish to a tie. It's time to test the power of my ordinary fire. The 9 flames different fire secret art is now running crazily in Han Feng's body, and a basketball-sized red fireball appears in Han Feng's hands. Ho hoo! The water dragon fish screamed again and again. Above the strange fireball here, the water dragon fish felt a fatal threat. Right now, the water dragon fish didn't care if the guy in front of him disturbed his dream, and quickly jumped in the direction of the river, and even gave birth to the idea of escaping the river, even if it was his birthplace, which made it quite reluctant. Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com. Go with. Han Feng threw the red fireball in his hand fiercely. The red fireball swept away at an astonishing speed. The surrounding space made a squeaking sound because of the high temperature of the fire. Before the water dragon fish jumped into the river, it was hit by the red fireball, and immediately let out a miserable roar, twisted its body, fell from the height, and fell into the river. Rao is so, the fire has not gone out. When the fire touches the river, in an instant, a large amount of water vapor emerges. When the water vapor gradually disappeared, the jet-black water dragon fish floated on the surface of the river. Han Feng was overjoyed, took out the branches and drilled wood to make fire, and then erected the water dragon fish. The head of water dragon fish has been taken off by Han Feng and placed in the storage belt. Speaking of this storage belt, Han Feng was also speechless. It was issued by Instructor Lin before they entered the Yufeng mountain range. They are only the temporary owners of the storage belt. Once the inspection is over, the storage belt will be returned to you, family. The heads of monsters hunted by Han Feng before are all in this storage belt. Han Feng cursed secretly in his heart that he would not give it earlier if he had a storage belt, otherwise he would not be unable to prepare anything and he would be self-sufficient. Soon, the water dragon fish was grilled, a fragrance wafted out, Han Feng's stomach rumbling. He couldn't wait to bite it, and said as he ate, "It's the body of a monster, even if there is no seasoning, it has a primitive taste, is not comparable to the meat quality of ordinary beasts." After eating, Han Feng sat cross-legged, began to digest and practice by the way. Han Feng learned from Instructor Lin. Before the water dragon fish reaches the maturity period, the elders of the water dragon fish, such as their parents, will never leave the water dragon fish. The water dragon fish eaten by Han Feng appeared alone in this river. There can only be one reason. The parents of this water dragon fish have long died. This is also the reason why Han Feng dared to eat water dragon fish without fear of retaliation. In the Yufeng Mountains, there are a lot of monsters. If you kill one, you will attract a lot of them. The previous giant wood monster is one of them. Had it not been for the 4 mid-ranking powerhouses such as Instructor Lin to follow, Han Feng would not dare to single out the giant wood monster. When the state of his body was restored to its peak, Han Feng stood up again and cautiously went to the surroundings to hunt for second-level monsters. On this journey, Han Feng carefully carved his mark to prevent getting lost. When the afternoon approached the evening, Han Feng returned here. At night, Yufeng Mountain Range is basically the World of Warcraft. At night, the monsters can distinguish most of the things in front of them based on their unique abilities, but humans can't do it. Before they have cultivated to a high level, the night has a great impact on humans. Even Han Feng didn't dare to make a fire. Flame might have some effect on ordinary beasts, but for Warcraft, especially those with higher levels, it was useless at all, instead it would attract them. Han Feng knew that his current strength was also able to deal with the second-level top beasts, and the third-level beasts needed to use ordinary fire attacks. Fanha consumes a lot of energy. It is the limit to throw 3, 4 or 5 in a row. 10,000 lifetime fires attracted a lot of third-level monsters or even more powerful fourth-level monsters, and that would be the end. This night, it was so peacefully passed. At noon the next day, Han Feng caught a pig-like monster and prepared to light a fire to roast it. Suddenly, Han Feng's expression tightened, and he looked vigilantly in a certain direction. There was a running sound getting closer and closer. Who is it? My Han family, or Chong family? Han Feng muttered in his heart. The distance was getting closer and closer, and Han Feng found something wrong. The footsteps were disorderly and irregular, and it seemed to be running away. Could it be? Han Feng's complexion changed, his inner strength moved, and he was in a state that could explode at any time. Han Rong. Han Feng. When this person ran out, Han Feng screamed. This person was Han Rong. The first few of the 10 members of the Han family existed. And Han Rong was surprised when he saw Han Feng. When he saw the roast pig beside Han Feng, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but twitched. Since he came to bring the Yufeng mountain range, without the guardian of the instructor, Han Rong deeply understood the Yufeng mountain range. Danger. From entering to the present, Han Rong's expression has been tense, not daring to relax a bit, and now he is being chased by the monster. But at this moment, he suddenly discovered that Han Feng, who had entered with him, was actually preparing to eat roast pig with gusto, which made Han Rong extremely sad. This difference is also big. Roasted pig smelled, Han Rong couldn't help swallowing, and he was basically hungry yesterday. Buzz. A weird noise came from behind, and Han Rong's expression changed drastically. Han Feng, run, it's the bumblebee chasing me. Bumblebee. Han Feng looked shocked. This venomous bee alone is not terrible. The juvenile venomous bee is between the beast and the beast, not even the first-level beast. Adult bumblebees are only in the early stage of the first level. Few can reach the middle and late stage of the first level, and there are even fewer top-level beasts. But the venomous bee does not exist alone. As a group of monsters, there are thousands of venomous bees in every venomous bee's nest. Such a number, even if it is only 1/10 of the dispatch, is very terrifying. Even if the third-level monster hits it, it will have to detour. Han Feng said quickly, "Go into the water quickly, the venomous bee is not good at water, and dare not enter the water." After saying this, Han Feng hurriedly jumped into the water. At this moment, Han Rong remembered that Instructor Lin seemed to have said something like this a few days ago, and immediately followed Han Feng and jumped into the river. At this time, dozens of large poisonous bees buzzed and flew, and every large poisonous bee has the size of a juvenile fist, and a small number of it is the size of an adult fist. Is full of purple and yellow, the poisonous needles are shining, dozens of large poisonous bees line up in the sky, and they are very permeating. Han Feng and Han Rong, who were hiding in the water, shuddered while looking at the sky. If this is overtaken by the venomous bee, one by one, you will be disabled if you die. The two were holding their breath tightly. The venomous bee flew over the river for a while, and then gradually left. When they left, they ate the roast pig that was hard-boiled by Han Feng, leaving only the pork bones. Han Feng was heartbroken when he saw it. What a good roast pig, it was just given to the bumblebee in vain. This strange venomous bee is really not easy, and the venomous bee in the previous life has never heard of anyone who eats pork. The two of them crawled out of the river, each of them suffocated with purplish faces. Han Rong looked at the roast pig with only bones left. Han Fengli ignored Han Rong, his face was stinky. Han Rong knew that he was wrong, and quickly said, "I'm going to hunt a pig." Han Feng glanced at Han Rong, his eyes condensed suddenly, and quickly came to Han Rong's side and tore a sleeve of Han Rong's clothes apart. What are you doing? Han Rong was startled, his face was horrified and he held his chest, www.mtlnovel.com, and looked at Han Feng with a look of perverted sex. Han Feng's mouth twitched, and he said bitterly, "What is your look? I just found something on your sleeve." Han Feng pinched out a small particle. "If you don't look closely, you will definitely ignore it." "What kind of powder particles should this be?" Han Feng frowned, and immediately sniffed, but he could only smell a strange smell, but didn't know what it was. Han Rong realized that he had misunderstood Han Feng, and he looked embarrassed. Han Feng's face was solemn. Han Rong, have you ever fought with anyone during this time? I think this small particle is related to the big poisonous bee chasing you. Based on my understanding of you, you should not rush to provoke a big poison. The bee is right. Han Rong's face went blue and white when he heard the words, no wonder. I said why the bumblebee is chasing me, asterisk 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 it, those asterisk 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 in the Chong family. Xianxia. Sure enough. Han Feng's expression was clear. Han Rong did not wait for Han Feng to inquire, and directly explained the future of the dragon. A few hours ago, I met a guy named Chong Tianyi from the Chong family. Chong Tianyi was also an elite under the age of 15 in the Chong family. Although not as good as Han Lin, he also opened up 3 main lines. Better than me. The two of us fought for a while, and Chong Tianyi left by himself. I was still wondering before, with Chong Tianyi's strength and the grievances between Chong and Han's family, how could he withdraw so easily, dare to have such a despicable means?